Zach here with secretsoflongevity.com, and I want to show you a really easy ab exercise, but it's actually more of a whole core and even extending into the leg exercise. And it's actually strengthening the hip adductors, which a lot of people talk about isolating your abdominals and getting rid of any strain or use of your hip flexors in abdominal exercises. And that's great if you're specifically wanting to target just the muscles of the abdominal area. However, that's disregarding the idea and the fact that our whole body works as a unit, and when you're isolating certain muscle groups very strictly, you're actually putting in these patterns of movement into your body that aren't realistic for everyday movement. So if you want a really strong core for the specific purpose of preventing yourself from becoming injured during everyday tasks, by isolating just the core without the surrounding muscle groups that help support that area, you're actually setting yourself up for more possibility of injuring yourself. Now, yes, there's some cases where you do want to isolate and prevent the use of the hip adductors, which are the muscles at the top of the thighs. But if that's what you've been told by a personal trainer to do, definitely heed that recommendation. However, this exercise I think is great. I learned it from a friend who is a practitioner of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It's great for any martial arts, really, because it's connecting the lower body to the core and strengthening that whole connection. Now, of course, if you have lower back problems or lower back pain, I would advise not to do this exercise. And basically, if you have problems in those areas, you will want to avoid doing anything that's going to work on the hip adductors, because that does put strain on the lower back a little bit. But that's nothing to fear if you've got a healthy core already. And this is just a great thing to add into the mix of any exercise routine you're already working with. Now I'm going to show you the actual exercise and a variation of it. You can combine them. And it's basically an endurance exercise. So you just work up and do higher reps of this. You could do it with weights, but because of the nature of the exercise, it becomes difficult to hold weights in your hand because it's going to throw you off balance. And you definitely want to have something soft under your tailbone, because otherwise it's going to hurt the hard bone of your pelvis and tailbone if you're on a floor. So put down a mat, do it on carpet, or do it on a yoga mat, and you'll be good to go. So it's very simple. You just get into a position on your tailbone, such as this, and then you lean back and you balance while leaning back. And during the reps, you ideally don't want to go all the way flat lying down. At the end of each rep, you want to be hovering with your legs up and your upper body up off the ground. Although if you're getting really tired, you can of course put yourself down, or you could just do negatives of the exercise. But this is how it's done. You're basically going to start while hovering, and you're going to go 1. It's not specific what you have to do with your arms. You can leave your arms at your side. You could use them to pull yourself up. You don't want to go too fast, otherwise you're going to be just using momentum. You want to keep the whole core tight and feel it crunching together a little bit, so it's like a moving whole body crunch. This is safer than sit-ups, and it's safer than crunches if they're being done improperly. And I'll show you the variation here. Is you twist to the side, and you're going to be hitting more of the obliques, which again, you're just hitting more of the core, which is great for strengthening that whole area. So you can just keep going. Get up to 100 and you're doing really well. You can even intersperse them by going 1 here, 1 there, 1 here, 1 there. Things to keep in mind again are, don't go all the way down unless you really have to. And the further you put your head back, the harder it is as well. So if you've got your head like this, it's going to be easier. Just want to be careful of your neck. But if you keep your head in line with the direction your body is facing, it's going to be more difficult because you've got more weight out. And like I was saying, if you want to use weights, it makes it more difficult. But you're going to have to be conscientious of where you hold them, because if you have them up here, it's going to throw you off balance. Unless you also have weights around your legs at the same time. So there you have it. That's a really easy exercise. You don't need any equipment, unless of course you've only got hardwood floors in your house. You can do it on grass, you can do it on a mat, like I said. So try it out, let me know what you think, post your comments below, and remember to embrace life without limits.